The Silent Mansion. The alien mansion stood high above the shining city, its walls made of silver stone, its towers rising into the clouds. From the outside, it looked like a place of joy, wealth, and power. But inside, silence ruled, a silence that carried sorrow heavier than any sound. In one large room, the wealthy alien mother sat by the window, her eyes fixed on the horizon. Her robes sparkled with gold. Her crown marked her high rank, yet her face looked tired. Behind her eyes hid years of pain. She had everything that money could buy, yet she could not buy the one thing her heart wanted. On the bed near her sat her daughter, small and fragile, her legs wrapped in soft cloth. Her hands clutched a toy she never played with. The girl had been paralyzed since birth. She could not run. She could not walk. She could only sit and watch life pass her by. Servants moved quietly around them. They never spoke loudly. They whispered only, afraid of disturbing the sadness that filled the air. Sometimes, when they thought the mother was not listening, they whispered cruel things. All the doctors failed, one said. Even the finest healers in the galaxy gave up. Another added, her money cannot change fate. They sighed, shaking their heads. The mother heard every word, though she never replied. Her heart was like a cracked glass. Every whisper made the crack grow deeper. She wanted to scream, but she stayed silent. She wanted to cry, but she held her tears until night. Every evening, when the lights of the city turned bright, she sat beside her daughter and told her stories. Stories of brave warriors, stories of ancient battles, stories of children who rose from weakness to strength. Her daughter listened with wide eyes. But when the story ended, sadness returned. The girl whispered, "Mother, will I ever walk like them?" The mother's lips trembled. She smiled, but inside her heart broke again. She had no answer. Then one strange day, the silence of the mansion changed. A new worker arrived, not an alien servant, not a noble doctor, but a human. He was simple in clothes, no jewels, no crown. His steps were steady, his eyes sharp. He walked into the great hall with calm confidence. The aliens stared at him. Some servants laughed quietly. A human? What can he do? They mocked. But the mother did not laugh. She was curious. There was something in his gaze, something that felt different, something she could not explain. The human bowed slightly, not too low, not with fear, but with respect. He looked at the mother and said, "I heard about your daughter. I wish to help." The hall filled with shocked murmurs. A human helping where alien science had failed? It sounded foolish. It sounded like madness. One noble servant even shouted, "Leave this mansion. You will only bring false hope." But the mother raised her hand. Silencing them, she studied the human's face. She saw no arrogance, no greed, only a strange fire, a fire she had not seen in any alien doctor. She spoke softly. "And why do you believe you can succeed where thousands have failed?" The human's voice was calm, yet strong. "Because humans never stop trying, we find a way, even when the stars say it is impossible." His words struck her heart. They were simple, but they carried weight. Still, the mother laughed bitterly. Her laugh was sharp like broken glass. "You are only human. What can your hands do that our greatest minds could not?" The human did not argue. He only turned his eyes to the girl on the bed. His voice softened. "Little one, do you want to walk?" The girl's small eyes shone. She whispered, "Yes, more than anything." For the first time in years, a spark of hope lit in the room. The servants looked at each other, unsure whether to laugh or to stay silent. The mother's heart pounded. She wanted to stop this madness, yet a hidden voice inside whispered, "What if?" The human kneeled beside the girl. He gently touched her hand. "I cannot promise the stars, but I promise this. I will not give up, even when others laugh, even when others call me foolish." The daughter smiled weakly, something she had not done in weeks. The mother felt her throat tighten, tears threatened to fall. She turned away quickly as the human stood. He said one last thing, his voice like a vow. "Tomorrow, we begin." The mother's golden cup slipped from her hand and hit the floor. The sound echoed through the silent mansion. Servants froze. The girl gasped. And in that single moment, the mansion was no longer silent. It was alive with fear, doubt, and a strange, dangerous hope. The human's promise, the next morning, came heavy with silence. The alien mansion felt restless. The servants whispered in corners, their voices sharp like knives. They mocked quietly. A human cannot heal what alien science could not. He will bring nothing but shame. The mother has lost her mind to let him stay. The wealthy alien mother heard their whispers, but she said nothing. She sat in her chair, her golden robes glowing under the morning light. Her heart battled between hope and fear. She wanted to send the human away. Yet a small voice inside her whispered, "What if he speaks the truth?" The human arrived at dawn, carrying no machines, no alien tools, only a small bag made of simple cloth. His calm face made the servants laugh harder. Some even spat on the floor when he passed, but his eyes never moved from the girl. The paralyzed daughter sat by the window, the same window where she had spent her life watching others live. When she saw the human enter, her eyes brightened. A spark of life returned to her face. The human kneeled in front of her and smiled gently. "Today we begin," the mother almost interrupted, her lips ready to say, "Stop." But she froze. There was something in his voice, something unshakable. The girl whispered, "Will I really walk?" The human nodded slowly. "Not in one day, not in 1 week, but one step will lead to another. And I promise you this. I will not leave until you stand." The words cut through the air like a blade. The servants gasped. The mother gripped her chair. Her heart beat faster. She had heard many promises before, but this one felt different. The human opened his small bag. Inside were strange objects, not alien, not glowing with energy, but simple human things. Straps made of cloth, wooden sticks carved smooth, and bottles filled with herbs from earth. The servants laughed louder. "Sticks and leaves? This is his medicine," they sneered. The mother wanted to laugh too, but she could not, because the human's hands moved with purpose. He touched each item as if it carried a history, a story, a hidden strength. He looked at the mother, his voice steady. "Your doctors used machines. They treated her body as broken metal. But she is not metal. She is alive. She needs more than science. She needs patience, struggle, and hope." The mother's lips trembled, her heart wanted to deny him. Yet her daughter's small eyes begged silently. The human gently lifted the girl's fragile legs. He spoke softly to her. "This will hurt, but pain is not your enemy. Pain means your body is waking." The girl winced. Tears filled her eyes, but she nodded bravely. He strapped her legs with cloth. He helped her push against the wooden sticks. Every movement was slow. Every attempt was heavy. Sweat ran down her forehead. She cried out, I cannot do it." The mother rushed forward, tears in her eyes. "Stop, she is suffering," she cried. But the human raised his hand calmly. "If she suffers today, she will stand tomorrow. Let her fight." His voice held power, not anger, but unshakable power. The mother froze, torn between love and fear. The girl bit her lip. Her small hands gripped the sticks. Her arms shook. Her legs trembled. She fell once, twice, 3 times. Each fall echoed through the hall. The servants smirked, whispering, "See, foolish human." But then something happened. Something no one expected. The girl, weak and trembling, pushed again. Her leg moved an inch, then another. Her body swayed. Her face burned with pain. But she did not stop. The human's eyes lit with fire. His voice rose, strong and commanding. "Yes, fight. 1 inch is a victory. 1 inch is a war won." The mother gasped. Her hands covered her mouth. Her golden crown slid slightly as her head bowed. Tears streamed down her cheeks. The girl collapsed at last, her body shaking, sweat covering her, her breathing heavy. But her lips curved into the faintest smile. "Mother, I moved." The servants fell silent. The hall that once rang with laughter turned still. The wealthy alien mother fell to her knees beside her daughter, her tears dripping onto the stone floor. The human placed his hand gently on the girl's shoulder, his voice like a vow written in fire. "This is only the beginning. Tomorrow, you will rise higher. He turned his gaze to the mother. You asked me why I believe. Now you see it is not about power. It is about will and humans. Never stop. The mother could not speak. Her throat closed with emotion. She wanted to believe. She wanted to trust, but her heart was drowning in fear. Yet when she looked at her daughter, smiling through sweat and tears, she knew one thing had changed. Hope had entered the silent mansion, and it came not from alien science, not from wealth, but from a human's promise. The night fell. But the mansion was no longer silent. It breathed with whispers of something dangerous, something powerful, something unstoppable. The first attempt. The sun rose slowly over the alien city, its light spilling across the mansion's tall silver towers. Inside, the atmosphere was tense. Every servant moved quietly, their eyes darting toward the training chamber. Whispers carried through the halls. Today the human will fail, one muttered. The girl will break, another said. The mother will throw him out, they whispered. Certain of the outcome, the wealthy alien mother walked slowly toward the chamber, her golden crown heavy on her head, her heart heavier than any jewel. Her steps echoed against the stone floor. Each beat of her heart asked the same question: will he save her, or will he destroy her? Inside the chamber, the human stood, tall, his face calm, his eyes sharp, his hands steady. Beside him the girl sat waiting, her small hands clenched tight, her legs wrapped in cloth straps, her eyes filled with both fear and determination. The human's voice was low, yet strong. Today, you will try to stand. The room fell silent. Even the servants at the door leaned in, shocked. Some laughed quietly, covering their mouths. Stand? Impossible. The girl looked at her mother, searching for strength. The mother's lips trembled. She wanted to stop this madness. But the human's steady gaze held her still. The girl nodded slowly, her voice soft. I will try. The human placed the wooden sticks before her, his hands guiding her arms. He spoke firmly. Hold. Do not fear the fall. Every fall is part of the climb. The girl's small arms shook. Her fragile body trembled. She pressed down. Her legs refused to move. Her face twisted in pain. Tears slid down her cheeks. The mother gasped. Stop. She cannot. Her voice cracked with fear, but the human's voice rose, sharp and powerful. She can. She must. Do not steal her strength. His words cut through the air. The mother froze, her tears burning in her eyes. She could not speak. Her heart pounded painfully in her chest. The girl pushed harder, her breath quickened, sweat soaked her forehead. Her body swayed dangerously. Then, for the first time in her life, her leg twitched. A small movement, weak but real. Gasps filled the chamber. The servant's eyes widened, whispers spread like fire. She moved, her leg moved, the human's voice thundered. Again, the girl tried once more. Her arms screamed with pain, her legs shook like broken branches in a storm. Then, slowly, painfully, she lifted herself, her knees locked for a moment. Her body rose halfway, the sound of the wooden sticks pressing against. The floor echoed like thunder. The mother's golden cup slipped from her hand. It crashed to the floor. The sharp sound rang through the chamber, her eyes wide, her breath stolen. The girl swayed, her body trembling like a fragile flame. She stood for less than a heartbeat. Before collapsing, the human caught her before she hit the ground. Silence swallowed the chamber. Then a single sound broke it. Soft sobs from the girl, not of pain, but of joy. Her lips curved into a trembling smile. Mother, I stood. The mother fell to her knees, tears flowing freely. She could not breathe. Her hands shook as she reached for her daughter. The servants were frozen, some pale with shock, others whispering in disbelief. A human. He made her stand. The human's face did not soften. His eyes burned like fire. His voice cut through the heavy air. This is only the first attempt. This is the beginning. She will rise again. She will walk step by step, inch by inch, until the galaxy kneels to her courage. His words struck deep, not just into the mother's heart, but into every servant who heard them. Even those who mocked him now looked uneasy. The mother tried to speak, but her voice cracked. How How did you do this? The human looked at her with steady eyes. Because we humans do not see weakness as the end, we see it as the first battle. And battles are meant to be won. The girl, still shaking in his arms, whispered, "Do not stop, please, I want to try again." The human smiled softly, pride in his eyes. "You will, tomorrow, and the day after, and every day until the stars themselves. Watch you walk." The mother pressed her forehead to the cold floor, her golden crown sliding off. She did not care. Her heart was breaking and healing at the same time. Her tears pooled on the stone. For the first time in her life, she whispered the truth aloud. "A human has given me hope outside the mansion walls." Rumors already spread like wildfire across the city. Aliens scoffed. Others laughed. But hidden beneath their laughter was fear. Fear that if a human could do this, what else could humans achieve? And in that silent chamber, where hope had been, dead for years, a fire had been lit. A fire that could no longer be put out. The awakening, the alien city buzzed with whispers. Every corner echoed with one rumor. The paralyzed daughter of the wealthy mother has moved her legs. A human made her stand. It cannot be true. But deep inside, fear grew, because the impossible had happened. In the mansion, the training did not stop. The human pushed the girl every day, his voice calm, his patience endless. The girl cried, sweated, and fell again and again. But each fall ended with another attempt. Each tear ended with another step of courage. The wealthy mother watched, her golden crown forgotten, her robes wrinkled from kneeling too often beside her daughter. She no longer cared for appearances. She only cared for the sound of her daughter's laughter when she managed to move. Soon, word reached the alien nobles, powerful lords and ladies. Of the city, they came dressed in jewels and pride, their ships landing with thunder. They filled the mansion halls with arrogance, their laughter cold. A human teaching our kind to walk. One sneered, "Is this a circus? A show for fools?" Another mocked, "Let us watch him fail. Let us see the girl collapse," they said, eager to enjoy the humiliation. The mother stood tall in front of them, her eyes sharp, her voice calm. "If you doubt, then see with your own eyes." The nobles entered the training chamber, their presence heavy, their laughter sharp. They sat like judges waiting for a trial. The girl trembled when she saw them. Her hands clutched the wooden sticks, her body shaking. Whispers filled her ears. Weak child, broken from birth, a shame to her bloodline. She lowered her head, tears forming, but the human knelt beside her, his voice soft but firm. "Look at me. Not at them." She lifted her eyes slowly, meeting his steady gaze. His words burned like fire. "You are not broken, you are untested. Today you rise not for them, but for yourself." The nobles laughed louder. "Rise? She will fall like dust." The human ignored them. He placed his hand on the girl's shoulder. "Do not fight the pain. Walk with it. Make it your strength." The chamber grew silent as the girl pushed down on the sticks. Her arms trembled, her body shook, her legs screamed in pain, but she rose inch by inch until she stood, her knees locking, her body swaying. Gasps filled the air. The nobles' laughter died in their throats. The girl took one step, slow and shaky, then another. Her face twisted in effort, sweat running like rivers, her teeth clenched. Her eyes shining with tears, the wealthy mother dropped to her knees, her hands covering her mouth. Tears streamed down her face, her heart pounding so loud it drowned the world. The nobles whispered in shock, "Impossible. No alien doctor ever achieved this. A human did this." The girl stumbled after her third step. The human caught her before she fell. He steadied her, his voice strong. Again, she shook her head, whispering, "I cannot." He leaned close, his eyes fierce. "Yes, you can. And when you do, they will never laugh again." Strength sparked in her. She pushed once more, her body trembling, but she moved forward step after step, 5 in total, before collapsing safely into the human's arms. The chamber was silent, the nobles pale, their jewels heavy but their pride broken. One finally whispered, "What power do humans carry?" The human looked at them, his voice calm but sharp as steel. "The power you will never understand, the power to fight when all hope is gone." The nobles left in silence. No laughter remained, only fear. That night, under the light of twin alien moons, the girl stood again, this time in the garden, the mother at her side, the human steadying. Her steps, the stars above seemed to watch as she walked across the grass, each step echoing louder than any trumpet. The mother collapsed into the grass, her golden crown rolling away. She cried freely, her voice breaking. "My daughter walks by the hands of a human." The girl, her face glowing with joy, whispered to her mother, "I am not broken anymore." The human stood behind them, silent, but his eyes burned with pride. He knew this was only the beginning because the galaxy itself had just witnessed the awakening of something far greater than healing. It had witnessed the awakening of human will. And far beyond the mansion, across alien stars, whispers spread like storms. Humans are dangerous. Humans can achieve the impossible. If they can heal the paralyzed, what else can they do? The galaxy trembled, and humanity's shadow grew larger. The galaxy watches. The galaxy was restless. News traveled faster than light. A human healed what alien science could not. A broken girl now walks. Human will has defied fate. In the wealthy alien mother's mansion, life had changed. No longer was it silent and heavy with sorrow. Now the halls echoed with the sound of footsteps, small, shaky, but full of hope. The paralyzed daughter, once bound to her bed, now walked slowly across the rooms, her hands sometimes holding sticks, sometimes her mother's arm, sometimes the human's steady grip. Every step was a victory, every breath a celebration, and every tear the mother shed was no longer of despair but of joy. But the galaxy was not ready to accept this truth. Powerful alien leaders gathered in grand halls, their voices sharp with anger. If humans can do this, they will challenge us all. This cannot be allowed. We must see with our own eyes. And so ships arrived from faraway worlds, their shadows covering the skies above the mansion. Alien leaders in glowing armor, alien priests in robes, alien healers with their shining machines. All came with pride and doubt. They entered the mansion like conquerors, their steps loud, their eyes filled with arrogance. The mother stood before them, her daughter behind her, the human at her side. A great alien lord sneered, his voice booming. "Show us this miracle or admit your lie." The girl trembled, her body still weak, fear rising in her chest. The mocking voices returned. "She will fall. She is broken. This is trickery." The mother's hands shook. Her heart screamed to protect her daughter. But before she spoke, the human stepped forward, his eyes steady, his voice cutting through the noise. "You came to watch her fall, but you will leave remembering her rise." The chamber grew silent. The human turned to the girl, his words soft but fierce. "You are not walking for them, you are walking for yourself, for your mother, for every child who was told they cannot. Take the step." The girl closed her eyes, her breath heavy, her hands trembling. The room spun with tension. The alien lords leaned forward, ready to laugh, and then her foot moved, one step small but strong, then another. Her knees wobbled, her arms shook, but she did not fall. She walked forward, slowly, painfully, beautifully. The hall erupted with gasps. The alien machines clicked and flashed, recording what their science could not explain. The alien priests clutched their robes, whispering, "Impossible." The wealthy mother collapsed to the floor, tears streaming down her face, her voice breaking. "My daughter walks and the galaxy must see." The girl took 5 steps, then 6, then 7, until she reached her mother's arms. She fell into her embrace, both of them crying. The sound echoing louder than any song. The alien lords stood frozen, their pride shattered, their arrogance trembling. One finally spoke, his voice low with fear. "Humans, they carry something beyond our understanding." The human looked at them, his face calm but his words sharp. "You call yourselves advanced, yet you forgot the oldest truth. Strength does not come from machines. It comes from will, and humans will never surrender." The lords lowered their eyes for the first time, bowing slightly, not to the wealthy mother, not to the nobles, but to the simple human who had achieved the impossible, The galaxy's whispers changed that day, no longer mocking humans as weak, no longer dismissing them as lesser. Now the whispers were heavy with fear. If humans can heal the broken, they can also break the unbroken. If they can lift the paralyzed, they can rise beyond all limits. Humans are dangerous. In the garden that night, under the light of the alien moons, the mother held her daughter's hand as they walked together, the human walking behind them like a silent guardian. The stars above seemed to shine brighter, as if bowing to the will of one small child and one determined human. The mother turned to the human, her voice breaking with emotion. "You gave me back my daughter, but you gave the galaxy something else too. Fear of humanity's strength?" The human simply smiled, his eyes calm, his words soft. "Fear is not what we give. We only show the truth, that nothing is impossible when humans decide to fight." The daughter, her face glowing, whispered, "Then let them watch me walk forever." And as she stepped forward, strong and unbroken, the galaxy did watch, every eye across the stars fixed on the miracle born not of power, not of wealth, not of alien science, but of human will,